to apologize for being late. Had to deal with a few issues, but nevertheless, here we are. The Stretford End, me, your host, Session, and of course, the latest Manchester United and Manchester United transfer news as always. And as you see, Benjamin Sesko is the man of the moment that we have to speak about. A talented striker, 19 years old, from RB Salzburg, quality player, and we've seen the clips on YouTube, Twitter, wherever else you might have seen it. A player that definitely can become world class with good, proper coaching. However, subscribe to the channel, please. My goal is 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. At the Stretford N Johnson is what you are looking for on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. So, before we get into speaking about Benjamin Sesko, I just want to give a bit of a results issue with regards to our game against Wrexham. It was reported that the game was resulted in a 4-1 win for Manchester United. Christian Eriksen getting his first minutes, likewise to Lisandro Martinez, and of course Eriksen getting his first goal, a free kick at that, with Telles, Pelistri, and an own goal being the goals that was reported to have been scored. Good to hear, and of course Varane and Martinez played as a centre-back partnership, which is potentially our partnership which we'll be having for tomorrow's game against Atletico Madrid, which is going to be in Oslo, Norway. And it's going to be a very, very good game because that is the game where Ten Hag will use his strongest 11 to test himself against opposition that we won't face next season. Maybe if they drop down to the Europa League, we might. But it is an opponent that is of Champions League level quality, an opponent that we know and have played against before. But of course, we are different with different tactics, a different mindset, and we want to see exactly how we stack up against a much better quality team that is quite prepared for their season. They don't have to do much training. We know their style of play, but we'll speak about that a bit later on in the video. Let me get into the news. And as it says from Samuel Lockers, he said Manchester United football director John Murtagh met the agent of RB Salzburg striker Benjamin Sesko last week Wednesday. It is understood that he rendezvoused with Sesko's agent to gauge the possibility of a transfer. It was also said that RB Salzburg don't want to sell him this window unless they get an offer over. We bring in another report that is also from Samuel Lockers, and he says that Manchester United are in the market for at least one attacking addition, preferably two. So to hear that in itself tells you that Eddie Ten Hag is looking at wanting 4 players coming in. Remember, we still need a backup goalkeeper. Of course, Tom Heaton can fill the role, but Tom Heaton isn't really a second choice goalkeeper. And perhaps we'll be looking at bringing in another goalkeeper, whether it be a young goalkeeper or even an experienced goalkeeper, but it has to be someone that is comfortable with being second choice. Ten Hag at least wants 4 more players to come in terms of signings. Benjamin Sesko being one of them. Anthony is another player that is reported. And of course, still, Frankie de Jong is another player that is on our target list. We know the process with Barcelona. We know that they are still continuing to say that he's not leaving. They want him to stay, but there is an economic situation. I have to be honest, I do believe that Frankie de Jong will still come to Manchester United. I think it is just dragging and dragging and dragging, but it is probably because Barcelona don't want to pay him his wages that they owe him. They want him to leave and completely forget about that so that they can register the new players that they've signed. If they don't register those players, what options do they have? They're not going to keep Frankie de Jong. Hell, Xavi was playing him centre-back and says he loves him in a centre-back position, and we all know he is not a centre-back. And 100% true. When it comes to Manchester United, I don't think Ten Hag would play him at centre-back at all. So, hearing that Ten Hag wants more players before this particular transfer window closes, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be, shall I say, a bit of a short stick at the end for us because Anthony is being overpriced by Ajax. So are we going to go for him? Maybe, maybe not. Is there an option for us as an alternative? But why would we want to go for alternatives? We need to give Ten Hag the first choice players that he wants. Going backwards to the pub particular video that was posted and leaked of Richard Arnold saying that the money is there for the manager. We just need to get the players. they know that he's not at that particular value and they need to put the price up there because they don't want to sell him. But he wants to come to Manchester United. Ten Hag wants him at United. If we don't get him, it's John Murtagh then that has failed because it is simple. It's a simple transfer. We cannot have ourselves being disillusioned by the factor that the club, the board wants to support the manager. It seems a lot like they don't because our transfer window has been a mess. Yes, we've gotten the likes of Malacia, Eriksson, and Martinez, but there hasn't been anything other than that. These are players that are going to come in and do a job, but they're not going to transform our team completely. We still need at least one midfielder. We need two, but at least one. And we're putting all our efforts into Frankie de Jong. And the way it seems, he might not even be coming to Manchester United. But you look at Martinez getting number 6, you look at Eriksson getting number 14. It makes you wonder if the 21 is being saved for Frankie de Jong. And in my opinion, that is probably the case. I remember when we signed Rafael Varane, we paraded him at Old Trafford before a match, before the game, with him holding up his jersey number, etc. Could the same be in line for Frankie de Jong so that they can sell shirts, so that there is a marketing aspect to Frankie de Jong's signature? Is that the reason why the transfer is being delayed? Perhaps, but we have to be intelligent and understand that there's a possibility that we will not be getting Frankie de Jong. And that in itself needs to be a wake-up call to those in the transfer department that if this deal is not going to be finalized, move on, get someone else. And hearing that we are definitely in for someone like Benjamin Sesko, it is basically Erling Haaland all over again. When he was at Salzburg before he went to Dortmund, Ole had the opportunity to sign him. We saw the clip of him leaving Germany, after smiling with a meeting with Haaland and his dad, and still that was not enough. We don't want to be in the same position again where he either stays at Salzburg or goes to another club next season and then we have to pay over the odds for a player we could have gotten for under, shall I say, 30 million. And that in itself needs to be our process of thinking. We need to be getting these players that Ten Hag wants, which is young, talented players on the brink of in the particular forward line, shall I say. And he's a perfect striker for Erik ten Hag. Very, very strong on the ball, very tall, able to play with both feet, has got fantastic pace. He's good in the air, strong in terms of holding up the ball. What more can I say? This is a player that we need to be getting if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves. And that in itself is another possibility. You have to understand that Cristiano Ronaldo could be leaving. And here's what I think about Ronaldo's situation and where it is right now. He wants to continue his Champions League record. He wants to continue to compete against Lionel Messi and, shall I say, allow his legendary status to be cemented so that nobody can reach the records that he's reached. But that's selfish. That doesn't show any love towards the club that you are currently playing for, the so-called club that has given you everything. You are putting your own personal ambitions over the club. And if that is the case, in your mindset, you are bigger than the club. And I don't think we should be having you as an attitude here at the club. Cut our losses and go and get the players such as Benjamin Sesko, such as Anthony. Go and get those two attackers. That is definitely players that can come in and allow us to have enough players in the forward area, quality players in the forward area for the season ahead. That needs to be the focus. We need to resolve this thing with Ronaldo now. There cannot be us going into the season, into the Premier League games, and still having an unsurety of whether Ronaldo is staying or leaving. It needs to now come to an end, and there needs to be a result in this particular situation. Moving along now into other news, it is also said that Cristiano Ronaldo is in contention to be involved in the friendly with Rayo Vallecano at Old Trafford on Sunday. This was also reported by Samuel Luckhurst. So that's good to hear that we are able to perhaps see Cristiano Ronaldo play on Sunday, being involved with any of Ten Hag's tactical training. So this particular game would serve him well. But does that mean that he plays next week Sunday against Brighton? We don't know. It is really, really difficult to see what starting 11 he will use for next week Sunday. But tomorrow will give us a clear indication of who is to be in his strongest 11, because it was reported that against Atletico Madrid he will play his strongest 11. And it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be in the starting 11 and part of the squad. Later on today, we'll probably see who is on the plane going to Oslo, and that will give us a better indication of who is going to be in the starting 11, not just for tomorrow, but also for our game against Brighton next week, Sunday. Guys, thank you for joining me. As I said in the beginning of the video, at the Stretford N Johnson, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is where you'll find me. Also, subscribe to the channel. My goal is 1,000 subscribers, and we always talk about Manchester United and their transfer news. My name is Session, and of course, that is it, me from the Stretford Inn. Till we speak again soon, Red Devils. Have a wonderful day further and enjoy the game tomorrow against Atletico Madrid. Bye bye, Red Devils.